Well, the game Marathon by Bungie is still expected to come out later this year on September 23rd, and people are definitely looking forward to it. It definitely sounds like Bungie is potentially cooking up something good, and they have been cooking it up for quite a while. It looks like production really began in 2018 or 2019. Now, keep that in mind for later because that is important, but just a few weeks ago, Bungie actually began the alpha version of Marathon. This was a closed alpha, but then shortly after the launch, the non-disclosure agreement was actually voluntarily lifted by Bungie, so that meant that I guess game footage could be shared from users who got to experience it. So it is probably because of this that it was eventually noticed that apparently Bungie actually stole art from this artist and didn't give her credit at all, basically just completely plagiarized from her. Now this artist is named Antire, and if you look at like the cover photo, I guess, on the top there, I will say that having now looked through a lot of her art, this is kind of like what a lot of her art looks like this is kind of the theme of it. And if you've seen any like promotional material from the Marathon game, it looks very similar to, yeah, the overall theme of Marathon. But it looks like she has been making art for quite some time, and that actually brings us to an allegation she made today, where she says the Marathon Alpha released recently, and its environments are covered with assets lifted from poster designs that I made in 2017. Again, remember, production began in about 2018 or 19, so this would theoretically make sense. She shared 2 screenshots, so this is the first one. Feel free to pause it and, zoom in if you need to, but essentially, if you really look, you will see absolutely, almost without a doubt, striking resemblances here. The double triangles, if you see that, don't get distracted from that, because that, yeah, that could maybe be a stretch, but when you look at kind of those designs on the bottom there, that's where things get a little crazy. It does look very similar. Here's the other screenshot from that post, and yeah, this is basically, to me, a copy and paste. You can see on the left and the right the absolute similarity. So just to be clear, the right, that is her art, but the 3 screenshots on the left, that is from the alpha. As you can see, it says ALEPH, just like the one on the right, and then it also says Dark Space Haulage Logistics with a hyphen at the end, with a vertical line over that. It is literally a copy and paste, especially when you look at the top left screenshot. Then another post followed that up. It says, Bungie is of course not obligated to hire me when making a game that draws overwhelmingly from the same design language I have refined for the last decade. And yeah, that goes pretty much exactly with what I said. This is kind of the theme of the game, I would say. And she says, but clearly my work was good enough to pillage for ideas and plaster all over their game without pay or attribution. So then we get this screenshot with the post. Again, you can see definitely the similarities. Now, unfortunately, she's not like a huge artist with millions of followers, so she says, I don't have the resources nor the energy to spare to pursue this legally, but I have lost count of the number of times a major company has deemed it easier to pay a designer to imitate or steal my work than to write me an email. This one kind of surprised me, so it sounds like it's more than just Bungie that has plagiarized her in the past. That is definitely terrible for a company to do that. I feel very bad for her, especially since, if that is true that they are plagiarizing, I mean, that would very much be illegal, but like she said, she doesn't have the resources to actually pursue legal action, to spend years in court, so why would she? That's how companies like that can just get away with stuff like this. It's terrible. Then her last post, she says, in 10 years, I have never made a consistent income from this work, and I am tired of designers from huge companies moonboarding and parasiting my designs while I struggle to make a living. Yeah, well said. And, to me, the craziest thing is not just the specific comparisons here. To me, it's like the overall design of Marathon, as I said, seems to be, in my opinion, completely copied off of her overall art design. I'm going to link her website in the description. This is her website that she had in her social media bio, and you can just kind of click through all of her artwork that she's posted. It is all just reminding me of what I have seen from Marathon. She also does have a link on her profile that it looks like you can donate to her, so if you want to, you can. It looks like in the past few hours now, she's actually gotten quite a lot of donations, which is good, but still, it doesn't really make up for the fact that apparently Bungie and other companies have plagiarized from her. As for what's going to happen now going forward, unfortunately, I think the answer is probably nothing, because as she said, she does not have the funds or the resources to pursue any legal action. So unfortunately, if these allegations are true against Bungie, they are probably going to completely get away with it.